What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's always a huge thank you for coming back. We really appreciate you. So today, as you can see, we're working on a Ford again. We're working on our single cab OBS. And we're going to be doing a mod that I've been wanting to do this thing for a while. So I'm pretty excited about that. The plan was to work on Dirty Girl, but I ordered some U-bolts for this thing and they were supposed to show up a couple of days ago and they're delayed. So hopefully they'll come in tomorrow. Until then, like I said, I want to work on this thing. I've been looking for some underhood lighting for this thing for a while, and I could never find anything that I really liked. I had initially bought just one of those like LED strip lights, kind of the stuff that you put like in the interior, stuff like that, and I was thinking about putting that under the hood, but I really didn't like the idea, and then I actually found a product that I think is pretty cool. I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so this is basically what I found. It's rock light bar. Uh, it's a pretty cool little rock light. I think I like it because it feels pretty like small and sleek. Most light bars are like these pretty like bulky things, and I didn't think that would look pretty good under the hood. But I definitely think that something like this would fit perfectly under the hood for, you know, lighting. And I mean, at least this trucks came with lights. Most new trucks don't even come with lights under the hood, but even then, the light that this thing had under the hood was pretty dim, and the one that's on this thing right now doesn't even work. So I'm hoping, the plan is that we can splice into that harness for the light that's already under the hood, and just connect two of these. I have four, but I think I'm gonna do, if this works, I think I'm gonna do the other two on the other OBS. Let's see. Oh, so this is the company that I got these from. I actually bought this with my own money. So it's LFG Automotive. Do they have their website on here? I don't know, but again, I think they're pretty cool. I hadn't really seen anything like this, and I really like the design in it. They actually feel pretty nice and solid. I believe this is an aluminum housing, and as you can see, they have all of the LEDs, so it should be plenty bright. They send you a template, so if you're gonna drill, so you know exactly where to drill it, you're gonna have to do 3 holes, 2 for the bolts and then 1 for the wiring harness. And then it comes with its hardware, which is some really nice socket cap head screws. So, I don't know, really nice hardware. And then apparently, if you scan that, it's got installation instructions. So we're gonna check that out here in a little bit and see what it's all about. Also, I got this little workbench a couple weeks ago from Yida Home. They reached out to me and see if I wanted to try anything out, and this was one of the things that was on it, and I thought it'd be perfect for stuff like this. So we're gonna be working on the truck and basically have all of the stuff that I think I'll need staged out on this bench. Now this is, I believe, the smallest size they have in one of these tables. They have a few different sizes, and it's actually very well built, very solid. I'll cut to a video here real quick of the unboxing and putting this thing together. But like it's very solid. It's got some like really nice big hardware, and it's adjustable. Right now I have it at its highest setting, but as you can see, it goes, it adjusts up and down. Now, it's a manual adjust, so it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to adjust it. But again, I'm actually pretty happy with this table. And like I said, this is the smallest one that they sell. I wish they would have sent me the bigger one. They have a few sizes. Definitely would have wished they would have sent me a bigger one. But again, it's still a pretty nice table. Like, check out these casters. The table itself is not too big, maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet by maybe 4, but it's solid. Like, yeah, I'm not a light guy by any means, and I feel very comfortable on this thing. It is solid. I like it. So anyways, let's I guess first things first. So first things first is checking that this harness still has power running to it. If it does, like I said, we're gonna use it to power our rock lights, and then from there we're gonna figure out exactly where we want to put them. I'm kind of thinking somewhere over here and having it kind of shine down on the engine bay like this. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, find all that out. Okay, so I just confirmed that this does in fact have 12 volts going to it, which is perfect because it's exactly what we need. So we're gonna go ahead and try and piggyback to this thing. Okay, change of plans. We're not gonna be using this harness anymore. And that's because I got to thinking, you know, how the heck does this thing know if it's open or closed? Like, I've never seen any sort of switch anywhere in the engine bay. And then I grabbed this thing. I was like, man, this thing's really big for being just a plug for the light bulb. So I started doing some research on how these things know if when they're open and closed to turn on the light. And basically, this is actually a tilt switch. So it's got a little. Let me see if I can open this thing. Actually, I don't want to break it. I'll put a picture of it up though. But this thing's got a little like ball bearing in there that when it tilts, when it gets tilted, it basically closes the circuit and turns on your light bulb. I think that's pretty cool, actually. But like I said, we're not gonna be using this. It's, you know, I would have to probably figure out a way to tap into this. They probably make little harness tabs for these type of light bulbs. But again, we're not gonna do that. So basically, what I'm gonna do is just disconnect this harness from that plug that's right there, and then we're gonna run our own brand new circuit off of the Oxybeam switch panel. That way we can just control it from inside the cab. I am planning on doing a whole bunch of upgrades to the wiring system of this thing. We're gonna be getting rid of that switch panel and installing a new one from Last Fit, and then a few more lights from them. But that's gonna be hopefully in a video or two. We're gonna be doing that. For now, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and take care. I want to do these lights because I really want to. I really should have cleaned this hood too before I started this. But anyways. Like I said, I'm going to run just brand new wiring all the way down to the switch panel. Also, before we keep going, I do want to give you guys a huge thank you for all the support during our Black Friday sale. We are working our hardest to, you know, get all the orders out. As you can see today, we got some coil buckets done. And then I've been packaging a whole bunch. That's why we're kind of low over here. But we have some of the other stuff that, again, I'm working on packaging. We actually sent out a pallet today about 3 times as high as that one, which is incredible. But yeah, again, like I said, we are busting our butts to try and get all the orders out the door. Right now it's like, I think it's 9 o'clock, about 9 right here at the shop. But like I said, we spent all day packaging, welding, and then I remembered, oh, it's Saturday. I really want to get a video out tomorrow, so I stayed late to, you know, at least do something, because I guess like I really want to force myself to, you know, make a video every week and try and make it, you know, at least somewhat interesting. Again, the first thing we're gonna do is kind of test out the lights. So I cut a little bit of wire, about enough to reach to where I want it. But what I'm gonna do is strip one end and then crimp some connectors so we can connect it to the switch panel and then test out the rock lights. Okay, so I've got these pretty nice connectors that I bought a little while ago, and they're pretty nice because they've got basically heat shrink insulation already in them, and then if I remember correctly, I believe they're the dual insulated, so they have like that glue inside of them. And the reason why I'm using these ones is these are my favorite kind of connectors to use on the switch panel, so should work pretty well. And then I got this crimper to go with them. I'm actually gonna go ahead and strip the other side just so I can hook it up to the rock lights and, like I said, test them out and figure out exactly where we want to position them. I got this wire stripper from Harbor Freight. It's a Quinn, and I definitely like it. This is by far the best way that I have found to strip any sort of wiring. Okay, and now here at the engine bay. Now, one of the reasons why I'm replacing this switch panel is because I've already had a problem with it. As you can see, this red light, again, not really sure what the heck it means, but it stopped giving power to my my lights on my bumper. Again, not really sure what the heck happened. The fuses were fine and everything, but I've got that red light in there, and it's like I said, not giving power to my lights. I'm definitely gonna try. I haven't, to be completely honest with you, I haven't really looked into it, so I can't even say what it might be. So I will definitely look into it. But like I said, I'm gonna replace it anyways with the last fit unit because I like that one a little bit more than this unit. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and screw our wires into these two terminals off of the 10 amp. We might switch these around and use the 5 amp on them because they really don't draw that much power, so it's kind of unnecessary to have have it on a 10 amp. Well, I guess we'll put it on the 5 amp. Guys, it's a little bit late. Been working way too many hours already. A little tired. Don't blame me. Okay, so now with that hooked up, we're gonna go ahead and hook up the rock light to the other end, and then hit the switch panel, and again, like I said, figure out where we want to position it under the hood. Okay, so we've got the rock light installed, well, wired to the switch panel, and like I said, this is just to test it out. And by the way, if you don't know what a switch panel is, if you haven't seen the videos where I installed this, if you don't like wiring, this is definitely the best thing you can buy to help you with wiring and get you to sort of like it, or at least make it easier. It's basically a relay and a fuse all built into one. So instead of like having to install one of these relays and then like a fuse and all that stuff and connect it to the battery, you install this thing and then connect it to the battery with one connection, and then from here you've got one wire that runs into your truck, into a panel like this one. So from this one you can control. This one is a 8 gang panel, so you can control 8 individual lights off of it, which I think is super cool. And again, like I said, it really cleans up your wiring. It just makes it a lot easier, a lot cleaner, and it really speeds it up. So I guess let me show you how it works. We're gonna go ahead and turn our key on, and then I believe it should be this one. Let's see. Yep, that's the right one. And as you can see, this thing is on, and this thing is bright. I believe it's 1,000 lumens per rock light. And as you can see, this thing is super bright. Like 2 of these will definitely light up the bay of this thing super well. This is actually a super well lit shop, but you can kind of see the light. I'll turn off the lights once we do the install and really show you, but like that would be pretty cool. Like, look at that. That is actually freaking awesome. I really like these things. But like I said, we actually have a different set of rock lights that we're going to be installing in this thing. I had kind of lost them, and I recently found them, so we're going to be doing that soon. But anyways, now I just got to find exactly where I want to position these things, and then we'll go ahead and install them. Okay, so I definitely do think that the best spot for the rock light is going to be right at that corner, which when it's open, it's going to really light up this whole area of the engine bay. And obviously we're going to have one at each corner. And yeah, I definitely think that that's going to work out really well. Now, one thing that I actually really like about these rock lights that I discovered when I was looking at their instructions is that this stencil is actually a sticker, which is freaking awesome. Like, it's so cool that they thought of one to like provide a stencil with these and to have enough forethought to make it a sticker. It's awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and stick this right there, and then we're gonna drill out the holes. I'm gonna first check to make sure that I have riv nuts for this size, and if they do, we'll go ahead and drill some riv nuts there and install them. Also, that's what I mean that it's a sticker, the stencil. Like, how freaking cool is that? Also, I'm using the rock light right now as a work light. See, it's already coming in handy, and it's not even installed yet. And I'm really happy with these things. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, put the other stencil on the other side, and then go ahead and drill out these things. Now, I'm one rib nut short of having a complete set, so I'm either gonna see if I can find some other hardware that matches this, and use a rib nut that hopefully matches that hardware, or just for now install them with just one rib nut and then come back and install the other rib nuts. I think we're gonna go with that option first. But yeah, I'll check in once we have everything drilled and installed in place. Okay guys, so we finally finished this install on the lights, and I honestly love the way they turned out. Let me show you. It's gonna be super hard just because it's a very well lit place, but check that out. That's our engine bay. That is pretty freaking bright. And again, that's just two lights, one there, and it perfectly lit up the entire engine bay. I'm actually, like I said, super happy with this. I don't know who's been here since we first did the stage 1 engine build. Having these lights shining on the engine bay would have been awesome. Like, they would have actually really helped. Honestly, well worth it. I like it. Like I said, the reason why I chose these is because they're so sleek. Like, if you like, you can't really notice them, you know, like if you don't want to see them, you know, they're really not there, which is super cool. And then, like I said, we wired them up to that switch panel, which I think worked out perfectly. Eventually what I think I'm gonna do is tie it back to that harness and just find a little just one of those little clicker switches, kind of like what the doors have, and then just wire the ground to that. I think that would clean up the wiring a little bit, and I would definitely much rather do that. Like I said, this is going to be a little bit temporary because I was hoping that there would be a switch like that somewhere in the hood, under the hood. I don't know why I never really paid attention to how that worked, but like I said, I am going to order one of those little switches and install it probably somewhere like right here or something. And like I said, we just have them right now off of our switch panel. We just hit that and they turn off, and then I'll leave it right here so you can see the, I shall leave you guys right here so that you can hopefully see the difference. How freaking cool is that? Now I really gotta clean my engine bay, damn it. And that right there is pretty much with most of the lights on. We just have one big light on, and that one which is really not doing anything. And again, that's our engine bay. Pretty freaking cool. I think it's so cool. Definitely well worth it, for sure. I was actually editing this video. It's actually the next morning. It's Sunday right before this video is supposed to go live, but I was editing it, and I forgot to mention that basically the hardest part of this whole install was running the wires in a way that's clean-ish, you know. And I say it was hard because it was actually way harder than I thought it was going to be. It's the part that took me by far the longest. Again, I had planned on using that harness and then just kind of like fishing everything through there, but I ended up, like I said, installing it off of the switch panel, which I went through that hole. This hood on the inside of it has way more reinforcement than I thought it would. Like, it has some reinforcement there and like there that kind of like makes it hard to like go with the wire like straight through this thing. And like, maybe if I had like a little like rod or some of that fish wire or whatever, would have made it easier. I ended up just using some like solid copper wire, like the ground wires that they use for like this type of lights that I had laying around. And I fished it from that side to that side, and that's how I pulled the wire from here to there. And then same over here, like I don't know if there's like some sort of rib or something. There's gotta be, because like that's where all the stress is at. I kept hitting it and it was so frustrating, especially like it was already like 12 at night and I couldn't get the 10 wires to go down. But I finally was able to get one of the wires through, and what I did is I tied a piece of string and pulled it back through, and then taped both wires to that one string and then pull the string back and the wires back through and then down into the connection. Again, there was probably an easier way to do this. Definitely just having the wires exposed would have been way easier. I just didn't like it. But what I am thinking that I'm going to do is I actually been thinking for a while that I want to get a headliner for this thing. And I really want to try and find, I'm pretty sure it's discontinued, but I think LMC used to sell this really, really cool hoodliner that said Ford on it, which I absolutely love, and I wish that I could find it. And if I can find them and install that headliner, and then I'm going to redo the wiring again, and like I said, run it off a switch under the hood, and then just run the wiring under the hoodliner. It'll still be clean and it'll be hidden under the hoodliner. But again, the whole install was just super easy. Like if I wouldn't have been trying to run the wiring, like hide it, it would have been like a 30-minute install if that. Especially with just running it off the switch panel, because all you got to do. So what I did is I daisy chained the rock lights, obviously. But again, super happy with the way that these things turned out. They are like definitely super bright. If anything, maybe like I'll add another one right there, but like it really doesn't need it. Like it is so freaking bright. I really like them. I'm really happy with them. And like I said, the only thing is I want to use that harness on a switch, because it's just, I believe it's just always on hot. I'm not really sure, but it's just so much easier just opening the hood and having them come on, rather than having them on a switch. Like I can't think of a time where I'm like, man, I don't want this light on when the hood is open. So like I said, I think we're gonna end up doing it that way. They just look super nice and clean with the when they're off. Like you can't really tell that they're there. You know, they kind of blend in a little bit, which I think is really cool. Again, I think they're really worth you know, the money. And like I showed you, there would be awesome lights too to have as actual rock lights, you know, which is what they're meant for. They, I believe, sell them in 3 different color options. They have the white, which is this, the amber, and the red. And then now that I think about it, they have a soft on version of these two. That would have probably been perfect for under the hood. Yeah, I should have probably gotten those ones. But anyways, a great product. Definitely thumbs up from me. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Again, just a huge thank you for all the support. Again, we are doing our hardest right now to get caught up with all the orders. I've got my buddy right now. He is welding some drop track bar brackets. He finished those coil buckets that he started yesterday. And again, like I said, we're just doing our best to try and get caught up with all the orders. And again, just a huge thank you for all the support. Again, leave a like, leave any comments down below that you might have, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next Sunday.